Hello again, and welcome to Believe It or Not, a series where I subject myself to the horrors of Naruto and give you my personal spicy hot takes on this age-old anime. Today we are going to be covering episodes 32 through 41 of Naruto. Episode 32, Sakura Blossoms. The episode starts off in quite possibly one of the best situations that I've seen in a long time. Both Naruto and Sasuke are down for the count after their fight with Orochimaru. Rock Lee, who had just come in to join the fight, has significantly wounded himself and resulted in a temporary KO. And all that is left between the Sound Ninjas and Sasuke, who they are attempting to murder for Orochimaru, I guess, is Sakura. So, the natural progression is that our girl does something. And even if it's just scraps, even if I am just like feeding off of the garbage of like, oh, she throws a shuriken, that's her action in the scene, I am feasting tonight. That is how we doing it. But obviously, before we can get to anything good, gotta flashback a bit. Ino and her team are in the bushes, so we gotta have like a moment where they sort of reminisce over their childhood and all that stuff. A lot of flashback in this episode, whether it's Ino and Sakura or just flashbacks to Naruto and Sasuke being cool as shit. But it happens. We get a moment with Sakura where she fights back against the Sound Ninjas, and it's pretty fucking cool. She cuts her hair off after being grabbed, and that looks fucking awesome. She looks great with the short hair. Love that. And it's a solid moment. It does end abruptly with her just getting smacked a whole bunch by one of the Sound Ninjas while Ino has more flashbacks. But you know what? It's the thought that counts. So, you know, we had a powerful, strong, uplifting moment there with Sakura, and had that momentum kept going, this would have been something truly amazing, but we take what we can get. 8 out of 10. Episode 33, Battle Formation, Ino, Shika, and Cho. So after our unfortunate little twist in the situation with Sakura, Ino and her team jump out, and it is now time for them to return fire on these loser ninjas, showing off each of their jutsus. Shikamaru has his shadow puppet jutsu thing. Choji inflates into a giant ball and rolls everyone down, which is just the term expansion jutsu is ooh, all right. And Ino has her like body swap jutsu that she does, which, I mean, there's a strong little momentum there where each of them use their jutsus and they're turning the tides in the battle, and it's really cool. But it does not last long, and unfortunately we get sort of like a womp womp. Okay, they tried, but the Sound Ninjas are still pretty fucking strong. Then we get everybody else showing up. A bunch of other Leaf Village ninjas show up, and things seem like they're going good. Things go especially good when Sasuke wakes up after his weird fever dream. He has like a nightmare again about his parents dying. Poor Sasuke. The curse mark that he got from Orochimaru turns him into a really weird, super hyper edgy motherfucker, and he goes ape shit. He's attacking all these Sound Ninjas. He brutally just absolutely demolishes a guy named Zaku, who's got like weird wind hands, sound hands. He breaks his arms. It's terrible, and everyone fucking hates it. But thankfully Sakura runs in, calms him down, brings him down from his little rage moment, he balances him out, and things level out a bit. Thank fuck. The Sound Ninjas leave after that. Everybody goes home happy. It's a little bit of an end to all of that high going off of Orochimaru, and then this. Now all of our foes are officially gone. So we had a strong momentum around the start, and Sasuke being edgy it's something, but it wasn't exactly a very dynamic episode overall, so 6 out of 10. Episode 34. LAKAMARU Trembles, GAARA'S Cruel Strength. So now that we've looked at most of the other Leaf Village ninjas and everybody's kind of settled down from that whole affair, we cut over to Hinata's team, composed of... Who is in Hinata's team? I don't know their names. Either way, Dog Guy and Bugs. That's what I'll call them. Dog Guy and Bugs are there, and they're kind of chilling out. And then I guess we flash back to an earlier part in the forest where Dog Guy and the dog, Akamaru, because that's the name of the episode, they find where GAARA'S team are. And unfortunately, they get to witness Gaara just being Gaara. So we had an interesting moment where we got to see his Sanjutsu thing. That was cool. Then we had the unfortunate moment of getting to witness Gaara brutally murder just 3 random ninjas. And it was bad. Gaara straight up popped a dude like a grape in his giant sand coffin burial thing. Either way, fucking sucked. Super awful. So they managed to get the Heaven and Earth Scrolls. Same with Hinata's team, and both of those guys go back to the tower, and they get to finish the test. But mainly this is an episode to let us know that things with Gaara are not exactly great. He is super beefed up and super strong, but he's also brutal as fuck. So, you take what you can get. 5 out of 10. Episode 35, The Scroll Secret, No Peeking Allowed. So, it's been 4 days, and Team 7 are just camping out, chilling, trying desperately to find a Heaven Scroll to match their Earth Scroll. So, that's not going especially well for them. Then they get the bright idea to try and forge the scroll, and the forgery of the ninja scroll requires obviously a knowledge of what would be inside the Heaven Scroll. So the kids, despite being explicitly told not to open up this scroll, decide, hey, we're gonna do it anyways. You know, who knows, maybe we could possibly get some sort of info that could tell us what's inside that scroll so we can forge it better, yada yada. They try to open the scroll. Thankfully for our Team 7, Kabuto shows up out of literally nowhere, smacks the scroll out of their hands basically and says, fucking don't do that. And it's because when you open up the scroll, you basically get knocked out for the rest of the exam. It's literally like, there's a failsafe. It's mysterious, it's ambiguous right now, but there is a failsafe, and if you open up the scroll, you get got. So Kabuto says, hey, I'm gonna help you guys out. You guys seem cool, and I'm just super cool. So Team 7 goes with Kabuto through the forest towards the tower, which he says it'll be easier to get a scroll there. They go through the forest together. Kabuto does some exposition, and when they get to the tower, it's nighttime, and a bunch of weird, slimy goo clone things start crawling out of the trees and stuff, and that's where we end our cliffhanger. It was everything that I just said is basically the entire episode, and it took like 25 minutes for them to show it, and it was a slow one. So, you know, Kabuto was nice though. I like seeing Kabuto. He seems like a cool guy, despite some stuff we're gonna get into in a little bit. Still super chill. So 6 out of 10. Episode 36, Clone versus Clone. Mine are better than yours. This one had some goo clones. The goo clones, very cool. Very much here for that shit. Because goo and clones, 2 things I fucking love to death. And the designs for them, loved it. Very, very nice. Very cool looking clones. So we get a fight naturally between Naruto's shadow clones and these goo clones, which are also kind of shadow clones. It's weird, but they fight, and mainly it's just Kabuto going, hey, don't do that. This is not what they want. The people running these clones are clearly trying to trap us or fool us or something, so whatever. Then the actual people running the clones jump out, and they're wearing like these disgusting footy pajama looking ass things. It's like such a letdown after these cool, really well designed clones. These motherfuckers look like a bunch of dork ass losers who came back from their slumber party, and I'm just like, come on, you're cool ninjas. Just wear outfits that look like the shadow clones that you had. Just design them to match that. Like, it was very weird for me. Not a big fan of that. But they beat those clones and those ninjas, as Team 7 is wont to do. After that whole thing happens, we also sort of get like Sasuke's weird curse mark is still freaking out now. He's back down from it, but something's still going on with that, so stay on your toes with the curse mark. And when we get back to the tower and everybody gets their scrolls, which, yeah, Team 7 gets the Heaven Scroll after they beat these ninjas, no shit, obviously they would. They go back to the tower, and sure enough, it's revealed that Kabuto is working for Orochimaru. So, yay, guess what? Your cool guy is actually evil, no shit. That's how we run in it now. I'm interested in seeing more Kabuto because he seems like a cool guy who, you know, I'd love to see his motivations as a villain. The second test was also over in this episode, which is great because we've been in that forest for a while. Do gotta mention, I did fall asleep after this episode. Just got very, very tired this viewing. Whether it's the show or me, it's up to interpretation, but whatever. 6 out of 10. Episode 37, Surviving the Cut, the Rookie 9 Together Again. I'm gonna make this one quick. The kids finish their exam. Anko talks to the Hokage about Orochimaru. All the ninjas line up, listen to the Hokage talk about the history behind the Chunin exams, and then the proctor shows up and he's coughing. He's super sick. That's the entire episode. That's all it is. Then we get into like some ninja politics with the Chunin exams, talking about the military states and why they have to have the perfect balance of power, and so that no other ninja clans attack the other ones, and there's a history behind it, so that the fighting in the Chunin exams is actually supposed to be, you know, like a follow-up of historical fighting between the clans. Fucking whatever. It sucks. It sucks to hear about the ninja military state. It is actually cool. I actually really do enjoy the world building, and like, it's intentionally supposed to be bad. We're not supposed to be rooting for the ninjas. We're supposed to say, hey, this system really sucks. But obviously, you know, like, we're going to get into that later on, I'm sure. But, you know, the main point of this is, this was a very long episode that managed to accomplish very little. And for that, I am yawn. 4 out of 10. Episode 38, Narrowing the Field, Sudden Death Elimination. After we get all of that, you know, preliminary bullshit talking about what the exam's history lesson is, then we start this process of, hey, do you want to leave? Do you guys actually want to? If you want out, I'm giving you the out. That's what they say. The proctor goes, we're going to start the preliminaries soon. You're going to be starting to fight. We're not going to give you any break. So anyone who wants to step out right now, no tea, no shade, you just won't finish the exam. That's it. And everybody kind of goes around the room talking about it, blah, blah, blah. Traditional Naruto fashion where everyone has to give their reaction like, oh, I don't think that I could give in right now. I've come so far. I mean, I am scared, but I'll keep going for Sasuke. And it's just back and forth. It's all of this bullshit. Kabuto actually says, no, I'm gone, but he's evil, and he talks to some of his buddies, and he says, I've done everything that I can. I'm going home. As Kabuto, I guess, is wont to do. Sure. And so after that happens, we get a moment with Sasuke where he explains his new motivations. He's an Avenger now. He's very, very big on using the term Avenger because he still wants his revenge. He wants to avenge his family. Just a lot of vengeance. But he's also Virgil because he desperately needs more power. And if he doesn't fight in this tournament, he'll never know how powerful he could become. Whatever. So after all the bowing out is done, the preliminaries start with Sasuke versus some weird random ninja that was hanging out with Kabuto. And this dude straight up just sucking the chakra from our boy Sasuke. He can't handle it, and he can't use his chakra because it'll activate the curse mark, so he's in a bit of a rock and a hard place situation. But, you know, whatever. This one was, again, very slow. It was as if, like, they could have easily taken the last episode and this episode and thrown them together, but instead they're 2 separate episodes, so I guess that's just the pacing in this one. 6 out of 10. Episode 39, Bushy Brow's Jealousy, Lion's Barrage Unleashed. So we go back to the fight. Sasuke's getting his ass fucking kicked because he can't use his jutsus or his Sharingan or nothing. Sucks for him. But then he remembers that taijutsu is the thing. Specifically, he remembers that Rock Lee has some pretty good taijutsu that he technically did memorize when he had the Sharingan on during their encounter. So he fucking high kicks this loser into the air, flies behind him for like the same long ass extended period of time that our boy Rock Lee did in that fight. Always fun. Then, right before Sasuke lands the finishing blow, his curse mark starts freaking out and everybody gets a little bit scared. Then he remembers what he's fighting for, all that shit, so the curse mark sucks back in, essentially. And he finishes the fight with a big, cool kick to the ground. Super fun. Lion's Barrage is, I think, what he calls it. That's the name of the episode. Everybody gets a reaction in because everybody has to say something in every one of these episodes. It's like obligation at this point. And once that fight is over, Kakashi basically says, all right, kid, let's go. We're getting you healed up. We're going to take that curse mark out of the equation. So come on, let's go. He's ferried off into, you know, off screen next episode probably. Before the episode can end though, we get a little bit of a fun moment with Bugs and the guy with the wind cannons from the Sound Village, Zaku, I think his name is. They're going up next, and that's basically where we end off, is there's gonna be a fight. Whatever. Fights are happening, which is nice. At least we are in the actual tournament. We're not like in the standing around in the room talking about the history or talking about what's going to be happening or if anybody wants to bow out, all that shit. We're actually doing it now, so there's not much that can stop us besides the action of the fights. Very nice to see that. 7 out of 10. Episode 40, Kakashi and Orochimaru face to face. we cut to the special room where Kakashi is doing the sealing ceremony for the curse mark, and Orochimaru shows up, and he's being a charismatic, snaky motherfucker, saying like, oh yeah, it'll never work, and he starts to go about his plan a little bit. Like, he starts to imply some things. He implies that he created the Sound Village, which is fascinating to me because that implies a lot of things. It implies that he's at least got enough ninjas on his side now that he can start a village of his own, and that with Kabuto acting as a spy and all that stuff, and ninjas coming in here, like, he's drafting to his village, it's clear that he's got some sort of big ambitious plan, whether that's to attack one of the other villages or to just start an all-out ninja war. Who fucking knows? But fascinating. Love that. Then back in the fight, Bugs and Zaku are going toe-to-toe. It's seeming like it's gonna go towards the Bug Boy because he's got cool bugs and the other dude doesn't, basically. Also, the dude has 2 broken arms, so it's like, you know, sorry, whatever. We get a lot of backstory for Zaku too, a lot more than I expected for what seemed like a one-off gimmick villain, but I suppose that's to show that both sides of the equation have a lot of suffering to them, and it's not like, you know, the villains are completely devoid of any, you know, pain in their past. Bugs end up in his tubes, so his hands explode, obviously, as we all know. So Bug Boy wins the fight. We get a little moment at the end where we figure out that, yeah, he is just filled top to bottom with bugs, which is, you know, fun for him, I guess. Surprisingly, the bugs in the man were not the worst part of this episode for me. It was the just like the grotesque cracking and breaking of the dude's arms that just like, I do not do well with bone stuff. I really don't do well with that. Anyways, Bugs wins. Fight over. 6 out of 10. Episode 41, Kunoichi Rumble. The rivals get serious. The next fight in the list is Kankuro versus one of those weird ninjas that was hanging out with Kabuto. And the weird ninja's got like giant stretchy snaky arms that are actually just his bones dislocating and his chakra manipulating the gooey parts of his arms, which sucks. And he seems like he's got the advantage because he's got Kankuro in a basically like headlock, and he also breaks his neck. But then we figure out that Gankuro's thing is that he is actually a puppet master. And so the weird thing that he had on his back, whether or not the puppet was always him and that he was always in the cloth, it's hard to say, but it's clearly a distraction thing. So he pops out of the cloth thing that was on his back, puppets the puppet, you know, like a puppeteer does, and he wins the fight. Good for him. It's not important for us to see that fight to completion so much because this episode is more about Sakura and Ino. They are the next fight after that one, and a lot of backstory in this one. A lot more about their childhood. Things start off pretty fresh, but it's all just, you know, a fake fight essentially. Whether it's Ino or Sakura, I guess it is Ino who's going easy on Sakura, and everyone can kind of tell. So there's a moment where they call it off, and Sakura is just like done with it. We get some flashbacks of them in their childhood. They are going back into their history, talking about like the hair and the ribbon and the headband, and I guess Sasuke too by extension. But they were good friends back in the day, super close, very, very wonderful for each other, and all of this symbolism about like flowers and buds, and it's, whether it's intended or not, the subtext is heavily romantic. And this one's for the gays, I guess. This one's just for them. Sakura and Ino just really love each other, I guess. Either way, it's like the whole episode is like screaming at you, yeah, no, they're in love. They're in love and they have to overcome that or something. The childhood trauma or fucking Sasuke or whatever the fuck. Either way, the girls are fighting. The girls are fighting in this one, and it's flashback, a little bit of fighting, flashback, a little bit of fighting, but it's kind of a build up towards what I'm sure will be the next episode of fights. But now they are ready to take each other seriously. They're ready to treat each other as equals. They both put their headbands on their actual heads because now it's a sort of declaration that they will essentially become shinobi, all that stuff. Very wonderful for them. Love that. I'm mostly just here for development of Sakura. Say what you want about how that development ends up being, but I'm such a huge fan of seeing her character explored in a bit more depth. And I mean, if Ino's involved, sure, that's wonderful. If fucking Sasuke's involved, I don't care. I just want to see one of the main characters get explored a bit more than just like the last batch of episodes where she sets up a bunch of traps and they all fall through. Like, I want more depth than surface level, you know? Anyways, is good, very touching, very romantic, really happy, and it seems like the next batch of episodes, the next one that we watch, will have some cool girl fights in it, so that'll be fun. 8 out of 10 in this one. Overall, this was a mixed bunch. We started it off very strong with some Sakura stuff, and we ended it off very strong with some Sakura stuff, so it seems like, you know, at least we cap-ended it with some strong episodes, but most of the shit in the middle was just slow. And I guess that just comes down to the pacing of these 10-episode bursts, right? Like, not all of them are gonna be perfectly form-fitted to, you know, the highs and lows of an arc. Sometimes there is just going to be a batch that we watch that is in the middle, and that's okay. We are clearly getting into some cool stuff, though, exploring the greater plot with the curse mark and Orochimaru and all the spies. All that's really interesting. And now we're in the fights of the Chunin exams, so I am looking forward to actually seeing more jutsus, more interesting applications of them, and just some good animation coming forward. That'll be good. I know the famous Rock Lee versus Gaara fight is coming up, so that is also something I'm very eager to see. Cannot wait for that. But yeah, I'm becoming a lot more invested in Naruto than I thought I would. That is something that I think I can honestly say at this point, which sucks for the whole gag of me hating this show, but you know, I'm starting to feel it. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you want to watch some more videos like this, or you want to watch something a little bit more structured, you can subscribe to our channel. If you want to stay up to date on all the goings on of the Digital Dream Club, you can follow us on Twitter at DigiDreamClub. We post announcements for new videos and the like up there so you can check it out. If you want to talk to us more directly or just, you know, shoot the shit, we have a Discord, link to which is down in the description, so you can hang out with us there. And yeah, so thank you again for watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Believe it!